Jim's computer has one of the darkest endings on Roblox, in which Jim, the main character, actually takes his own life. Today, I'm going to be talking about Jim's computer's darkest secrets. Jim's Computer is a game on Roblox created recently that is a psychological horror game. So first, Jim is actually implied to have a mental disorder that causes the darker ending in-game. Schizotypal personality disorder, also known as STPD, is a mental disorder that significantly impairs an individual's ability to form and maintain social relationships, which is a key aspect of human socialization. People with this disorder actually experience many symptoms that Jim experiences, such as social isolation and withdrawal, difficulty forming close relationships, excessive social anxiety, and extreme paranoia about others' motives and intentions. They also may experience delusions that are for seemingly small and harmless things, which can be indicative of their distorted perceptions and thought processes. So Jim, the protagonist in the game Jim's Computer, displays many of these symptoms and appears to suffer from this disorder. He lives alone and has no close friends, which is a clear indication of his social isolation. He also experiences excessive social anxiety, which makes social situations very uncomfortable for him, leading him to avoid them altogether. Jim's extreme paranoia is evident with his obsession with loyalty, and his personal meanings for seemingly harmless things suggest that he has a distorted perception of reality. Jim's flat emotions, which are evident in his responses such as "I feel safe again," could be also indicative of his STPD. People with this disorder often have difficulty expressing emotions, and their emotional responses can appear shallow or muted. As the game progresses, Jim's delusions become more severe, causing him to hallucinate and feel like someone is always watching him. His paranoia eventually takes over him, leading to a dark ending that nobody could have anticipated. Jim's inability to form and maintain social relationships, combined with his distorted perceptions and thought process, ultimately contribute to his tragic ending. Another factor that is significant contributing to Jim's tragic ending is his lack of meaningful relationships, which leads to his poor self-esteem and a deep sense of loneliness. Jim's inability to make any friends on RoChat, despite his attempts, is a significant contributor to his feelings of isolation and despair. His inability to form any close relationships make him feel like he cannot trust anyone, which further reinforces his social isolations and prevents him from seeking out new relationships except online. As Jim's self-esteem deteriorates, he becomes more and more convinced that he is entirely alone in the world and that no one cares about him. His paranoia and fear of betrayal become more intense, causing him to withdraw even further from social interaction. Throughout the game, we see Jim gradually losing his grip on reality as his delusions become more severe, and he begins to think that his fears are in fact real. He's convinced that he's out for himself and that everyone around him is a potential threat. The lack of social interaction is also likely contributing to the worsening of Jim's delusions. Without any outside perspective or feedback, his distorted perceptions and thought processes are allowed to spiral out of control, leading to increasingly bizarre and dangerous behavior. Jim's inability to form meaningful relationships is a crucial factor in this tragic ending, highlighting the importance of social connections for maintaining mental health and well-being. As the game progresses, Jim's disillusions become more intense, causing him to see things that are not there, such as the helicopter, and believe he is in danger. He becomes increasingly anxious, which exacerbates his delusions, making it challenging for him to distinguish reality from his distorted perceptions. In the end, Jim takes his own life, unable to cope with the overwhelming sense of fear and despair that have taken over his life. His anxiety and disillusions become too much for him to handle, and without the proper support, he is able to process his thoughts not normally and emotions in a healthy way. The game's dark ending underscores the importance of mental health and dangers of social isolation. The game's message serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of seeking help when struggling with mental health issues, and the dangers of social isolation and loneliness. And while some people might argue that Jim's illusions are actually reality, this theory in game presents otherwise. The numerous examples of Jim's struggles with mental health throughout the game suggest that his disillusions are not based on reality. If his mental health were not an issue, he would have not received such a tragic ending. One instance that highlights Jim's struggles with his mental health is when he sees the helicopter flying over his home. Despite the fact that there is no logical reason for him to believe that the helicopter is out to get him, he cannot recognize this due to his disillusions. His thought process is disordered, preventing him from seeing things clearly and logically. In reality, there is nothing to suggest that a serial killer is stalking Jim with a helicopter, which is an absurd idea that the game does not portray as being real. Instead, this is an example on how Jim's distorted thought processes prevent him from recognizing reality. The darkness and seriousness of Jim's computer is likely due to the game's ultimate ending where Jim takes his own life. This ending particularly resonates with viewers because it is unexpected and challenges the traditional happy endings that are often associated with kids' games. One reason why the game is so unsettling is because Jim's struggles with mental health are all too real for many people. The game highlights the devastating impact that mental illness can have on individuals and the importance of seeking help. The fact that Jim is unable to see what is real due to his fear and disillusions is a heartbreaking reminder of the struggles that many people face when dealing with real mental health issues. Furthermore, the game's exploration of Jim's mental health struggles is what makes it truly scary. While the game may seem absurd at first glance, it touches on some very real and disturbing issues. This realism is what makes the game so unsettling, and highlights the importance of addressing mental health concerns in a serious and sensitive manner. Overall, Jim's Computer is a powerful and thought-provoking game that challenges traditional ideas about what constitutes a kid's game. Its exploration of mental health issues and the devastating impact they can have serves as a reminder of the importance of seeking help and addressing these concerns in a serious and sensitive manner.